أسعد الله صباحكم مشاهدينا الكرام. نتواصل وإياكم عبر قنوات الكاس الرياضية والتغطية لفعاليات بطولة العالم للبليارد الإنجليزي اللونج. بطبيعة الحال كنا تابعنا بالأمس منافسات الدور ربع النهائي وسنوفيكم لاحقا بالتفاصيل، لكن قبل هذا سعيد جدا بالترحيب بضيفي في الاستوديو الكابتن مبارك الخياري رئيس الاتحاد الدولي للبليارد والسنوكر وأيضا محلل قنوات الكاس الرياضية. سعداء جدا كابتن بهذه الاستضافة.
الله يعطيكم العافية ومشكورين على الصراحة الدعم اللامحدود في التغطية الإعلامية الرائعة صراحة.
ونحن سعداء بالتأكيد كابتن. على كل تحدثت سابقا عن الدور ربع النهائي وفيكم بقائمة المتأهلين إلى الدور نصف النهائي. سنتواصل طيلة فترة صباحية وأيضا فترة مسائية لمتابعة الدور نصف النهائي ومن ثم الفاينل والمشهد الختامي لهذه البطولة التي سنتواصل بعدها أيضا في متابعة كابتن لباقي البطولات هنا في دولة قطر.
ربنا يعينكم إن شاء الله. والبطولة القادمة طبعا راح تكون بطولة أقوى شوية بكبير من هذا، لأن العدد اللي فيها راح تشارك في
50 دولة
تقريبا.
نعم.
ما يقارب 50 دولة. هناك تقريبا 210 لاعبين مسجلين في البطولة بين بطولة نساء ورجال وماستر. نعم. والله يسهل الأمور إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله وأنتم قدها كابتن.
الله يسلمك.
على كل ربما في سادة المشاهدين إذن بالبطولات القادمة هنا في دولة قطر بطولة العالم للسنوكر كما ذكر الكابتن مبارك ما يفوق 200 مشارك من خلال 50 دولة ستقام في الفترة من 17 إلى 27 إذن من هذا الشهر. ونتابع إذن تفاصيل هذه البطولة. ومن ثم أيضا ستستضيف دولة قطر بطولة العالم للبليارد 9 كرات والفترة من 5 إلى 14 أيضا من شهر ديسمبر القادم. على كل سنتواصل لمتابعة هذا الحدث. هنا أتحدث عن بطولة العالم للبليارد الإنجليزي. كان الكابتن مبارك بالأمس أعطانا يعني بسطة سريعة حول هذا الاختصاص بالذات. ربما نعود للتذكير وإفادة السادة المشاهدين بهذا الاختصاص الإنجليزي واللونج اب.
والله شوف أستاذ العزيز، يمكن اليوم المباراة يمكن قطبين مختلفين. يعني يمكن طاولة من الطاولات اللي حاليا تكون فيها النهائي اللي هو قبل النهائي بين اللاعب الإنجليزي مايك راسل بطل العالم ل 17 مرة ويقابل بطل العالم الهندي اللي هو 8 مرات في بطولة العالم استطاع أن يحققها.
هذا السيمي فاينل الشيق
والله شوف. نعم. يعني أنا أقول لك يمكن هي اليوم راح تكون
هو فاينل قبل الفاينل.
هي راح تكون يعني للأمانة يمكن صراع الجبابرة في هالطاولة راح يكون. يمكن المربع الثاني أو الطاولة الثانية راح تكون أقل حدة أو مستوى من الطاولة الأولى، لكن أنا أقول لك يعني من سيفوز بنهاية هالطاولة راح ياخذ البطولة.
نعم. على كل فرصة كابتن لاستعراض نتائج الدور ربع النهائي ومن تأهل إلى المربع الذهبي. بالأمس كان بانكاج أدفاني وتحدث حوله الكابتن مبارك. هو بطل العالم 7 مرات وهو بطل العالم الحالي في النسخة الأخيرة. كان تأهل على السنغافوري بيتر جيلغريست، في حين مايك راسل صاحب اللقب أو 17 لقب إذن في هذا الاختصاص. أتحدث عن بطولة العالم للبليارد الإنجليزي. كان تأهل على لاعب من الميانمار هو أونغ هاتاي، في حين المباراة الثالثة دور ربع النهائي الثالث كان تأهل فيه روبرت هول الإنجليزي على سوراف كوتاري الهندي. ومن ثم الهندي أيضا دارو سيتوالا كان تأهل على حساب اللاعب ني هاواي من ميانمار. بالتالي سيكون السيمي فاينل الأول بين روبرت هول أو الطاولة الأولى بين روبرت هول وني هاواي. روبرت هول من إنجلترا وني هاواي من ميانمار. والنصف النهائي الثاني وهو النهائي قبل النهائي سيكون بين صاحب الخبرة مايك راسل الذي سيلاقي بطل العالم أيضا بانكاج أدفاني. إذن هنا كابتن عامل الخبرة مقابل عامل أيضا الشباب أيضا وعامل التركيز وعامل ربما هناك أسبقية لبان أدفاني في المقابل هناك أسبقية الخبرة.
والله شوف أنا قاعد أقول لك حاجة في اللونج أب. أنا أتوقع يعني الصراع راح يكون قوي، لأن خاصة أن بانكاج أدفاني أمس فايز على بطل العالم السنغافوري في البطولة السابقة للعام الماضي في اللونج أب. يعني أزاحم البطولة. بس أنا قاعد أقول لك اللاعبين مش سهلين. من سيتحكم بالأعصاب اليوم هو الذي سوف يصل للنهائي.
نعم، على كل ستكون لنا متابعة بالتأكيد مع الكابتن فيما يخص الدور نصف النهائي الأول وأيضا الثاني بالتأكيد عبر قنوات الكاس الرياضية. عملية الإحماء نسميها كابتن.
والله شوف، حاليا أتوقع العملية هذه هي عملية من هو الذي سيبدأ المباراة.
نعم.
أتوقع أن البداية الآن إلى اللي هو مايك راسل راح يبدأ المباراة. نتمنى أن الجمهور اليوم يتابع مستوى آخر من اللعب يعني.
ويستمتع. على كل أيضا نهني دولة قطر بإحراز البطولة العربية ونهنئكم شخصيا إذن بهذا الإنجاز أيضا، ونتابع قطر بطل العرب في البليارد. أعتقد أن هناك عمل على مستوى
والله شوف، الحمد لله يمكن الفترة الأخيرة يعني الأبطال دائما يحاولون أن احنا نرد الجميل لأمير هذه البلد يعني شيخ الرياضة. أنا أشوف اللي هو أمير البلاد المفدى الشيخ تميم بن حمد هو الراعي الأول للرياضة، ولولا هذا الرجل يمكن الرياضة لن تكون في قطر، لأن أتوقع أن فتح جميع المجالات الرياضية والثقافية إلى أن أصبحت قطر هي الدولة الأولى التي ينتظرها العالم لتنظيم أي حدث رياضي.
بالتأكيد. ودولة قطر أصبحت تقريبا نقولها دائما منذ الأسياد، يعني تقريبا دولة قطر استقطبت معظم بطولات العالم في مختلف الاختصاصات. على كل ليس بالغريب الآن نتحدث عن التنظيم، ولا أريد أن أتوقف عند التنظيم، لأنه حقيقة حتى من خلال التصريح إذا بطل العالم بالأمس قال تعتبر من أفضل البطولات من حيث التنظيم. كابتن
والله شوف، الحمد لله يمكن أنا قلت لك يعني يمكن الجماعة توهم جايين من بطولة محترفين كانت في شيفيلد في بريطانيا. للأمانة يعني اللاعبين كلهم يقولون هناك اختلاف كامل في التنظيم، في ترتيب المباريات، في تنظيم الجداول. للأمانة الكل لما تقام البطولة في قطر الكل يحضر لها. الحمد لله، هذا فضل من الله وفضل من الدعم اللامحدود الذي يتواجد على الساحة الرياضية.
على كل سنترك المجال بالتأكيد للكابتن بارك الخيارين إذن بطبيعة الحال، وأيضا الزميل إيهاب أنور لمتابعة منافسات السيمي فاينل، والتركيز سيكون على السيمي فاينل الذي يسميه قبل الفاينل، هو بين مايك راسل الإنجليزي وأيضا بانكاتش أدفاني بطل العالم، هذا اللاعب الهندي. نواصل معك كابتن ومتابعة شيقة لعشاق هذا الاختصاص.
Good morning, gentlemen. This is the semi-finals of the ISL Olympic Championship of Poland 2017. On table number 2, Nekwe Ko from Myanmar and Robert Hall from England. Referee is Arti Ganesh from India. On table number 3, Mike Russell from England and Pankaj Advani from India. Referee is Andrew Whitley from New Zealand. This is 1,100 points game. Referee please start the match.
Good morning, viewers. Assalamu alaikum. This is Irfan Mirza calling from the magnificent Mohammed bin Hamad Al Hitmi Hall. The final of the IBSF World Billiards Championship in the long point format has just started. Mike Russell has just started the proceedings he started with the white ball. So he has left the red in the box and the white on the side cushion. As you can see on the screen, Pankaj Advani has played a defensive shot just to keep the proceedings under control. This match is a semi-final between Pankaj Advani of India and Mike Russell of England. It is 1250 points up game, which means that whoever reaches the 1250 points, he will be the winner. Tried a cannon, multi-cushion cannon, got it. Very good shot. But the lay from that shot is not very good. A center pocket red enough is there.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ابتدت مباراة قبل النهائي بين اللاعب بنكاج أدفاني من الهند واللاعب مايك راسل من انجلند، وكانت ضربة غير موفقة للاعب حيث ضيع الكرة. من الممكن كانت تكون أسهل أن يقدر يوديها، والآن الفرصة للاعب بنكاج أدفاني أن يحاول يحرز أكبر عدد من النقاط.
Pankaj Advani is playing a red pot because the cue ball is out of reach for the normal cue action. He's using the rest to play the red pot. For those who are new to the game should know that red pot gives him 3 points and a red and off also gives him 3 points. So he has taken position for a long cannon from the balk, which is not very often played. It is not an easy shot to play and to control 3 balls over such a long distance is also not easy. Pankaj Advani on the screen. I will tell you in course of time that these two are the finest exponents of this game at the moment in the world. For the last 1 week, the best talent, the best billiards talent in the world has been in Doha. And out of that best talent, these two very best players have reached the semi-finals. There is another semi-final in progress on the other table in which Robert Hall of England is crossing cues with Ne Thue U of Myanmar. Incidentally, both of these two players in the other semi-final, which is not being seen on the screen, these two players have reached the semi-finals, a world semi-final for the first time. Whereas this semi-final, which is now being shown on the screen, is between two players, the two best players in the world today, who have, believe it or not, 25 world titles between them. Pankaj Advani has won 17 world titles and Mike Russell has won 18 world titles. The difference is that Mike Russell has won 18 world titles in billiards only, whereas Pankaj Advani has won 13 titles in billiards across so many other formats and 4 titles in snooker, 2 in 15 red format and 2 in 6 red format. I have with me Mr. Ehab Al Saleh of the Qatar Billiards and Snooker Federation, and I will request him to say a few things about these players, what I have just said in English.
تعتبر هذه طبعا نهائي مبكر بين اللاعب مايك راسل وبنكاج أدواني، لأنه اثنينهم حاصلين على بطولة العالم، واحد 17 مرة والبنكاج أدواني 18 مرة، ومباراة صعب التكهن بها من اللي راح يكون الأول. وحاليا اللاعب بنكاج أدواني هو إلى المقدمة، بحيث سجل نقاط 31 ومستمر على الطاولة، وتمكن انه يخلي كرة البيضاء خلف الكرة الحمراء مثل ما نشوف على الشاشة، ويحاول قدر المستطاع انه يسجل اكبر عدد نقاط، بحيث انه يودي الكرة الحمراء بعدين يرجع يعدل نفسه في البوزيشن او الموقع، انه يلعب كانون ويرجع يوديها مرة ثانية ليكسب اكبر عدد من النقاط، مثل ما قاعد نشوف الان يقربها على البوكت او على الحفرة، وبعدين يرجع يوديها ويعدل نفسه ويرجع لنفس المكان. ومبين انه الرذم اللي فيه اللاعب بنكاج أدواني في المباراة هذه ممتاز جدا كبداية.
You can see Mike Russell just watching how Pankaj Advani is going straight on the job. He has set up the top table. That center pocket miss, enough miss by Mike Russell is proving to be quite costly. Pankaj Advani is rushing out straight off the starting blocks. Looking grim, Mike Russell. The elder of the two, in fact. Mike Russell is 49 years of age almost, and Pankaj Advani is 32 only. A bachelor still. Very eligible bachelor, in fact.
Irfan, I was told that Advani has a maximum break of 840 something, and Russell's got 1,000.
Yes,
something.
exactly.
What you can tell us about that?
Yes, I will say that Pankaj Advani made that break of 867 in the Indian Nationals or more than 10 years ago in Chennai. And in practice he has a break of 581, whereas Mike Russell has a break of 2081 in practice and 1137 in tournament. Now you see, such big breaks are not possible unless both of the players are very good at playing the top table, which you can see on the screen now. Pankaj Advani is just displaying his skills at the top table. This is called the postman's knock, in which the white is sticking to the top cushion, so that when he plays the cannon, the cue ball, after striking the red, comes and strikes the white, because the white is stuck on the cushion. So there is a kind of, if you can hear it from close, there is a kind of rat-tat sound that comes from the cannon, and that is why it is called the postman's knock, like the postman used to knock on the table. Of course, those were the days of the normal mail and not the email as it is now. But this game is an old game, and these terms are coming from that time only. Pankaj Advani seems to be in a
very good shape.
Yes. Fully focused he looks. For those who don't know much about the game, let me tell you, this red pot counts 3 points, the cannon counts 2 points, and not only that, the white in off and white pot also counts 2 points only. So in a combination of all these red pot or red in off or white pot or white in off or cannon, you have to pile up the break without missing any shot.
مثل ما قاعدين نشوف الآن، وصل اللاعب بنكاج أدواني ل 86 نقطة بريك، ورجع حاول إنه يودي الكرة الحمراء في النص ويرجعها في مكانها في أسفل الطاولة، أساساً إنه يقدر يكمل البريك مالته وإنه يسجل نقاط أكثر، وقاعد يتوفق بطريقة جداً رائعة.
Even the slight disturbance of the white on the prime position on top cushion makes the player take it away from it, and then he brings it back to the top cushion with the all-round game skill. As Pankaj Advani is playing a long loser. This is called a long loser or a long in off, as you say. It is called a loser because you lose the cue ball in the pocket. This is a very interesting game, billiards, that the player has to sit out and watch the other player pile up a break. It's a character building game in which the player has to build up his reserves of patience and concentration. Pankaj Advani is not taking any chances. He has unusual, rather shall I say, he has screwed back the cue ball for a long cannon from the tee. I don't know how and why he played that, but it is not. I know chances are to be taken in the beginning. Very good shot this is, but unfortunately the red got potted. This is what happens when a long distance cannon is played. You cannot control the cue ball to the satisfaction. Now you see even the white has landed up in a bad position, which means that either he has to pot the white, or if the in-off is on, I doubt if the in-off is on, otherwise he would have immediately played it. So as I said, that long cannon has cost him prime position there. As I said, he had no option but to pot the white and play with the red. This is a very ordinary kind of game in the sense that because there was no option, so Pankaj Advani had to pot the white and take position for the red. And now he will pot the red twice when the red will come up on the center spot, which is the blue spot, and then probably he will
try to play safety. ممكن يلعب ضربة سيف لأنه اضطر إنه يودي كرة الخصم اللي هي الكرة البيضاء في الزاوية، وحاليا هو قاعد يحاول إنه يلعب سيفتي. لو نلاحظ إنه بيحاول يرجع الكرتين خلف الخط الأسود بحيث إنه ما يعطي مجال اللاعب مايك راسل أن يسجل أي نقاط ممكنة.
So this is Mike Russell has to give a miss over here. This is under normal circumstances this would have been a foul shot, but here when both the balls are in, this is called a miss, and even 2 points are given to the opponent. But this is not a foul shot. This is just called a miss. It's a defensive kind of shot, containment kind of shot in which the opponent is not given any chance to build up his break. That is why the white is always put in a very safe position. So now the job of Pankaj Advani is to control the red in such a way so that either from a cannon or an in-off he dislodges the white from the side cushion and brings it into play, and later on brings it to the top table for the top of the table game. Pankaj Advani is looking very composed, but he lost prime position just because he played that red pot in the center pocket and is screwed back for the cannon. Now the red is not in a very nice position. Pankaj Advani has a difficult shot to play both either as an in-off or a pot or a cannon. Nothing easy is on, and missing it means that you can even present a good position to Mike Russell.
وضع نفس اللاعب بنكاج في موقف شوية حرج، بحيث صعب جدا أنه يودي إناف اللي هو يودي الكرة الصفراء في الحفرة، أو البوت اللي هو يودي الكرة الحمراء في الحفرة، وبنفس الوقت مو بعارف يلعب سيفتي في الوضعية هذه اللي هو بيها. I think he's going to go for safety, Irfan. No other chance.
Yes, he has to play a safe shot because his opponent is also a 1,000 break builder. That thing has to be kept into consideration because this match is of 1250 up.
بالفعل هو لعب ضربة سيفتي وما أعطى فرصة للاعب مايك. احتمال اللاعب مايك يضطر إنه يودي الكرة الصفراء ويخليه في وضعية أساس إنه يحاول بعدها يلعب سيفتي، ضربة سيفتي.
this is a very delicately controlled shot. Mike Russell purposely played that shot in such a way that the yellow ball strikes the side cushion, the jaw of the pocket, and stays there instead of getting potted, because in that case he would have been left with an even more difficult position. So this is a spell of the game in which both the players are testing each other's safety skills.
But I don't know, I see it from this angle that he left him a cannon.
A cannon is there, but it's not an easy cannon.
It's not a very easy cannon.
And
It's
even
a
more
very
difficult to control also.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you see, he missed it. He missed it,
Yeah.
exactly. الآن اللاعب مايك يعود للطاولة وعنده فرصة أنه يسجل نقاط بعد إضاعة اللاعب
the
بانكاج لعبة الكانون، أنه هي حاول أنه يصيد الكورتين. بالفعل نجح يسجل أول 3 نقاط له.
Lot of check side that shot had to be played. Even this cannon is not easy. It is easy to make the cannon, but difficult to control all the 3 balls. Their objective of all the players is now to bring these 3 balls to the top table. You see, as I said, it was not easy to control. So it's a difficult shot to negotiate now. Mike Russell doesn't seem to be in his element at the moment, but any time he can spring to life. That is there. No, that was, I don't think it was really on. If the cue ball had been a little towards the side cushion on the right, that would have been much easier to play. But from this side, it was rather a bold shot for, audacious shot for Pankaj Advani to play. Mike Russell has been a very good snooker player also, even though his spoils are mainly in billiards. So this red pot was not very difficult for him. There he is. The yellow ball has not come on a prime position for the drop cannon. So Mike Russell has to play a number of white in-offs. He has controlled it, in fact, with 1 in-off only. So the position is prime now for a ideal drop cannon, in which he should get a red pot and the yellow ball should come right under the billiard spot, which is the red spot. But nevertheless, it is close to it. So good enough for Mike, who is one of the brilliant exponents of floating white, in which the opponent's white, which is in this case the yellow, keeps floating around the red spot. Good shot. Softest possible touch he gives to the object white. Mike Russell is famous for that. The referee has to be on his toes to play that, to see whether the cannon has been done or not. And in this case, the referee is Mr. Andrew Weatherly of New Zealand. He comes from Wakatane, a place about 3.5 hours drive from Auckland. He has been doing the very important matches in this tournament. He has done the final of the 150 up format, and now he is doing this semi-final, which I hope nobody minds if I say that this semi-final amounts to almost the final of the match, since these two players are sharing between them 25 world titles, whereas in the other semi-final, which is being played on the other table, Robert Hall of England and Ne Thuek Oo of Myanmar, they are the first timers in semi-final itself. So you can see the gulf of difference between the competitors in this semi-final and the competitors in that semi-final. Even though I know that anything can happen in a match, and I don't mean to look down upon the other semi-finalists, but facts as they stand now, any winner of this semi-final stands a much better chance to win the final also. 25 world titles between these two players. What an achievement, really. See, they are unable to, these distinguished players are unable to control the 3 balls at the top table. In the previous visit, Pankaj Advani was also trying to build up the top table, and in fact he built it up and he was on the job, but unfortunately, or out of beginners teething troubles, as you may say, that's a bad miss from Mike Russell. So both of them are having jitters early, but it's a long way to go. That replay showed you that close miss. Pankaj Advani is played what is called a double barrel shot, which means red pot and cannon both. If either of them he gets, he still earns the right to stay on the table. Difficult shot, not easy to negotiate, missable also. Super fine in off the white. Got it, very nice shot. This one difficult shot has changed the positional outcome, which means that a drop cannon is on from the D. A routine shot for any good billiard player. Has to control the red. The drop cannon is more often played with the white than with the red. So it is not easy to control the red, as it so happened. A run through cannon, scoring only 2 points, but their objective is not to score points as much as to get the prime position at the top table. It's very strange that the billiard spot is called the red spot, which is the black spot in snooker. That is the epicenter of scoring in both the games, when in fact the center of the table is the blue spot, or the center spot where the white is spotted during placing. This quarter of the table between the pink spot and the top cushion is the heavily scoring area of the table. That is why when two good players are playing, and they keep on playing on in this game, billiards especially, this quarter of the table gets worn out more easily than the other half. In fact, the back half of the table remains almost new, whereas the top quarter of the cloth gets worn out so easily, especially the billiard spot, the spot which is the home spot for the red in billiards and the black in snooker. Pankaj Advani's break is 23 now. Once he gets into that groove of scoring heavily around the red, then the points will start galloping at a very fast pace. Slowly, both the players are coming into their groove, which is similar, but the style of play of both these players is very different. Mike Russell is an extremely soft touch player, and he loves to play to give the softest possible touch on the floating white. I had the privilege of watching Pankaj Advani right from his junior days, when he won the junior national title and then the senior national title and then the Asian title and then the world title. I doubt if there is any player in any sport who has achieved what Pankaj Advani has done, which means that in 2005 he held the junior national billiard title, the senior national title, the Asian title and the world title all at the same time, and in billiards in both the formats that he won in Malta. Very enviable achievement, no doubt. But then Mike Russell also has equally good, if not better, achievements to his credit. He has won the billiards title, world title, I mean, in 18 times he has won it, 12 times as a professional and 6 times the IBSF world title. His highest break is 2081 and his practice in practice it is 2081 and in tournament it is 1137 which he made in Pune. So both of them, Pankaj Advani is yet to make 1,000 break whether in practice or in tournament. So you see the difference between them can be not much in achievements. In snooker, Pankaj Advani has won 4 world titles, whereas Mike Russell hasn't won a single world title yet in snooker. That is not because he has tried and not won. It's because he doesn't play snooker. He plays only for fun, and basically he's actually a thoroughbred billiard player. In fact, I will call him a blue-blooded billiard player. Pankaj Advani is controlling the ball very well, the control for which he is so famous and which has brought him so many world titles. The control of the cue ball around the epicenter of the table, which is the billiard or the black spot. Mr. Andrew Wedderly, the referee, has to be on his toes to see he doesn't miss any cannon. Keeping the cue ball well under control and getting the red pot and cannon pot. That is the normal sequence, but a disturbance in the prime position of the white may lead the player to play a series of cannons, 3-4 cannons maybe sometimes, and then bring the white back to the prime position, which is right under the red spot or maybe on the top cushion even. When the cue ball, when the white ball is between the red spot and the top cushion, it is called the floating white, and when the white is stuck on the top cushion, it is called the postman's knock. The balk line warning was there, which means that the cue ball had to be taken around the table and to cross the balk line, which is just on top of the D, to keep the score going. This warning is given to every player who reaches 80 points. The warning is given between 80 and 99 points, and after every 100 points it is given like that, which means when the player reaches 180 points he's given that warning again. Now this rule has been made to break the monotony of the game right at the going on at the top table, and as it so happened, you see that very job of taking the cue ball around the cushion, around the whole table, has has broken the monotony of top table and brought the game into all-round play in the middle of the table. So the player has to take the 3 balls, shepherd the 3 balls again to the top cushion, which is not an easy job. It requires a lot of skill to bring the cue ball to the top table. You see, the skills that are required to bring the cue ball to the top table are very different from the skills that are required to keep them at the top table. Pankaj Advani is now stretching his lead slowly but surely to about more than 150 points, closing in, but this lead is hardly anything. It is a matter of one visit for Mike Russell once he gets to the top table. Long loser. As I say, this long loser is not an easy shot to play, especially when the white or the object ball, it may be red also, is away from the center spot. Pankaj Advani's job is now to play the white in off and bring the white for a position on for a drop cannon. The drop cannon is called a drop cannon because it tends to drop the white behind the billiard spot. There you can see it is coming to rest behind the billiard spot. That is why it is called a drop cannon. Pankaj is coming on to check whether the red pot is on from this side of the table and to which can be the prime position to bring the prime position for a cannon to bring the white under the billiard spot. It is not at the prime position at the moment. It's very strange that a man of such a harmless looking face can have 17 world titles under his belt. You need a lot of killer instinct and apart from having extraordinary skills to win 17 world titles in different formats of billiards and in different formats of snooker, somebody having extraordinary skills and extraordinary temperament can make that achievement. Unfortunately, this beautiful game of billiards doesn't have a very large following in the world. Otherwise, Pankaj Advani would have become a superstar by now. Very nice cannon. A good cannon results from control of both the strength as well as contact on both the object balls, which is a 3-ball control, and that is the ultimate finesse in billiards. You see the white keeps on circling around rather in a semicircle around the billiard spot, the red spot in billiards. In a way, this job becomes easier for the referee when the balls are just hovering around the billiard spot, but in other ways it becomes difficult for him because he has to keep a check that Pankaj Advani requested the referee to wipe the cue ball. There you are. That is a very lovely close-up. Thanks to the cameraman for giving us that close-up. It looks beautiful. And that close-up also brings us to the point of the big spots that you can see on both the white and the yellow. Now, I want to say that this game of billiards was, there was a time, some time back, a few years back in fact, when the game was supposed to be vanishing from this scene just because it had no spectator value, but the organizers of the game did a very intelligent thing by first they introduced the yellow ball. There used to be 2 white balls, one was a spot. There was a tiny spot on one white ball and the other was plain. That is why to this day these 2 balls are called, the 2 balls means the 2 positions, the 2 balls that they belong to opponent, they used to be called plain and white. But to make the game, and that spot was not visible on the TV screen. So to make it visible, first they introduced the yellow color instead of the spot, And after that, to make it even more attractive to the viewers, the big spots were introduced on both the balls, so that the spectator can easily make out from the screen which way the cue ball is moving, whether it is having right side or left side. There you can see the spots on the yellow ball, the red spots on the yellow ball, and the red spots on the white ball. So when the ball rolls on the table, the spectator who's watching it on the screen can make out which side the ball has taken. That is why these color balls, first the yellow was introduced, then the spot was introduced, and now certainly the game has become more easily understandable for the TV spectator. The TV viewer can make out which way the ball is moving, which side the player is applying to the cue ball. The balls are still not under his thumb, shall I say. Pankaj Advani is desperately trying to make them, bring them under control for prime position at the top table, where he is capable of reaping hundreds after hundreds. And so is Mike Russell also, of course. Breaks, Pankaj Advani's break is now has piled up to 162, which means that he is on the brink of approaching 180, at which referee Andrew Weatherly will give him a balkline warning again. So before reaching 200, he has to cross the balkline. The balkline is in the lowest quarter of the table. 167, 170 that is. 10 points left to get the balkline warning. Pankaj is controlling, Pankaj is scoring, but the balls are not under prime control yet. Prime control means the sequence of pot cannon, pot cannon, pot cannon should go uninterruptedly at the top table. Another white enough to bring the white for the drop cannon. Good shot, well controlled shot. The problem with billiards is that when a good player is playing, he makes the game look so easy to the opponent, not to the opponent of course, to the spectators, that some people who have not played the game tend to think that they will be able to play it, pick up the game and play all these shots very easily. And the deception is that, the beautiful deception is that the better the player, the easier he makes the game look. Very good close-up. Very lovely close-up that was of the three balls at the top table. But you have to play the game for a long time to realize what delicacies of control are required, as Pankaj Advani played just now. That was another delicacy of control, stun, hard stun, without the cue ball travelling much. These are just attempts to control the three balls and bring them for perfect top table play. Pankaj Advani has to cross the balk line. He has already reached 190. Which means now I think this is the way sometimes a snooker player tends to, because he is also a very good snooker player. So he's going around the table. He will try to cross the balk line and keep the yellow ball under control for a cannon from somewhere. That is what he's trying to measure up. This is also a way of crossing crossing the balk line, but normally this is not the way a billiard player does. Normally they do it by putting the red in the top pocket and taking the cue ball around and bringing it back to the top table. But since the top table is disturbed, so Pankaj Advani is taking the liberty of doing it this way. He is quite capable of doing it, being a world champion in billiards, in snooker also. There he's got a long cannon of the white on the red, but not easy to control. These cannons are easy to get but difficult to control. Good enough, but I am afraid if yeah, he's lucky enough to get the white and off also in the center pocket from the D. So he's trying to measure whether he can get it easily or not. It can be a very narrow enough sometimes, which is not easy to make. Keeping the red and off also on in case of any difficulty. He'll bring the red for a center pocket in off possibly, or a pot maybe. That's a white and off for a drop cannon, I suppose. Yes. Players are always in a hurry to get to the top table, but the drop cannon route to the top table is not a very nice one. There are quite a few traps which the player knows he may get into. There is a cover over there. Sometimes in doubling across, the white also gets spotted. That is very rare, of course. So Pankaj Advani is trying to take placing for a red pot so that he can follow the white after potting the red from the spot to keep the cue ball near the top pocket and play an off from a cannon from there. But perhaps the red and yellow are not straightish. That is why he's taking some time to figure out how to get the white right under the red after the cannon. The break is now 211 and the lead has stretched to 300 points. So alarm bells may have started ringing. Not for losing the match, but for the lead that is piling up now. Mike Russell must be aware that if it goes on like this, say if he crosses 400 points or 500 points, which is he's quite capable of, then this point format is a dangerous affair. It can be a double-edged sword. A player can lose a match from needing only 1 point, because this is not the time format in which there is no time left to make a break. A player can make a break even from being 500 points down, and the other player needs 1 point, and the player can make a break of 500 and beat him. So every format has its own peculiarities. But for anybody, I am talking about the young players of this generation also, who think that this long point format is a new thing that has come in the game, they might be badly mistaken, because this is the earliest format of billiards. It is in this format only that Walter Lindrum had made his big breaks and made most of his records, because that time the point format used to be the most popular format, but that point format was not of this length, this 1250 up and 1000 up and all that. That format used to be 20,000 points, 15,000 points up. So this is the oldest format of billiards in which this World Championship is being played. This is just one of the 2-3 formats in which the World Championship is held. The last one was in 150 up format. This is the long point format, and then also the time format is also there. So very good control by, from long distance control, Pankaj Advani is closing it down to the prime position of close cue ball control. Sniper sighting by Pankaj Advani. This is the prime position. The white is just close to the red spot and below it, and the red pot is available in both pockets. That's all. Screw back from the red. Very, very tempting this is for players because he doesn't have to move much. He just have to keep on standing, screw back and pot. The break is 243, 246. As I said earlier, the red pot scores 3 points, the red and off also 3 points. Now this is a delicately controlled cannon he's playing. From behind he's scoring the cannon. The touch on the white should be as soft as possible without blocking the path of red from the billiard spot. Once the red is re-spotted after the pot. So that is what he has done in fact. So he's trying to clear the priority in Pankaj Advani's mind is to, that's a good shot, stun follow on the red to get prime position. Delicate control, very good close up here. As you can see, Pankaj Advani is trying to clear the path of red from the billiard spot to the pocket, which is being blocked by white. So there it is. These niceties of control, delicacies of control that Pankaj Advani is displaying on the table, they may appear to be very small stuff for the outsider, but only somebody who has given a lifetime to the game, or at least half of it, will realize how difficult it is to control the cue ball for these inch precise shots. In fact, what I prefer to call inch precise aggression on the billiard table. It's a very a game of mistaken identity. People think that billiard being a very soft game, there cannot be any aggression on the table. It is not so. A player can be very aggressive with his inch precise control on the table. Soft aggression, controlled aggression, which is what Pankaj Advani is displaying on the table. A master's touch. Little harder than what he would have thought. Perhaps he rushed that shot a little more than what he should have done. So now you cannot take the slightest liberties with these balls. See, he rushed that shot and he got into a mess. Not easy to come back from here. He has to play a series of dainty cannons to control. Pankaj Advani is wondering whether to go for the white and off or to play another cannon and make the white in off a little easier than what it normally is here. Gathering cannon. This is a gathering cannon. The red is brought back of two cushions close to the white, so that another simple in off a cannon is available, or maybe an off also. These are called gathering cannons at close range. They are gathering cannons in which the cue ball or the object ball goes around the table and comes back to the same spot. .277. Pankaj Advani, this break is going on, growing from strength to strength. 279, 2 points for this white and off. 279, I think, yeah, it has been corrected by the scorer. So now he'll get another warning. That red is spotted with 5 points scored, 2 for the cannon and 5 for the red pot, and 3 for the red pot, which means 5 points, 284. He got the warning from referee Andrew Weatherly, international referee of IBSF, first class referee, has been doing it for many years. Long time ago he did the 50 up final in Middlesbrough, I suppose in UK. Just a few days ago he did the 150 up format final. Now there's that unintended case. Pankaj Advani wanted to collect the red in the opposite pocket. So probably if the red is not very badly covering the white, probably Pankaj Advani will, he got it. But he played it off the cushion, which means that the white was covered by the red. So Pankaj is wondering, he has two problems now. First, he has to cross the back line. He's already 291, which means that before reaching 200 or right on the shot of reaching 200, he can cross the back line. He's going for a red pot or what? I wonder. Yeah. No, he missed it. This was the desperation to get to the top table and also to cross the back line. There the replay, such a beautiful replay. Hit the jaw. That is the snooker world champion in him, former world snooker champion. So he's given some... No, missed it. That was not an easy shot as it is. Missable at the best of times. So Pankaj Advani's lead is almost for 400 points, almost. There the replay you can see. It's very nice that these replays are given so immediately after the shot. The spectators can make out which is the shot that has been missed and how closely it has been missed. Very lucky to avoid that double kiss, as it is called. In doubling across the table, the white might have prevented the yellow. Yeah, look at this, very nice replay. Look, just about missed that double kiss. The white could have hit the yellow and that cannon could have been missed. But there is a lot of skill also in avoiding that white double kiss. Oh no, this is what is called an unforced error. And that unforced error has presented a very nice, there it is. You can see this is an unforced error. Pankaj must be disappointed with himself. He could have landed another double century at least over here. So Mike Russell is now, it's a good chance for him for a fight back. Very good position, very good opening here Pankaj has given to Mike. So far in this semi-final we have not seen the best of Mike Russell. The soft touch that he's famous for at the top table. He's always in a hurry to get to the top table. Just the minimum of shots that he plays for recovery which will lead him to the top table. There he is. Holds the cue with a very soft grip, very soft. It has been my privilege to watch him play from close range, as I have refereed many of his matches, including 2 of his world finals also. And I am amazed by the way he plays each shot. Each shot, the way he plays, it looks so beautiful. Look at that. Look at that beautiful close-up. What a shot that is. There he is. This is the hallmark of a good player, that he is not deterred by the lead that he is facing and takes out his guns to show what all he has. Too early to say all this, but quite possibly from here Mike Russell has to take out at least one rabbit from his hat to make this take this game to an even keel. Hard stun to bring up the cue ball a little away from the center line of the red spot. This is prime position. You see, in no time Mike Russell has reached the prime position. Just 2-3 shots from where Pankaj left him, he is here at the prime position. But you see, the easiest thing to do when you are in prime position is to lose it. One bad shot and you lose it. Just the turn of a ball can decide between a very good shot and a very bad shot. This is the mystery of this game, especially at the top table. See this red pot that he played. You could have seen the white just missed the yellow. If it had hit the yellow, it would have messed up the whole prime position. Mike is still not at his best, because when the touch is only as good as the cannon is made, then he is at his prime. This is what I have seen him over the years. He is still hitting the object of yellow quite hard, according to his very high standards. For those who are not aware of it, this is the prime position of floating white, of which Mike Russell is an acknowledged specialist. Still not good enough. Very hard touch on the object yellow. Very hard shot, but look at the delicacy of control. The cue ball has not traveled more than 2 feet. This is called stun follow, stunning the base of the cue ball. This is not okay, I think. He's placing the white. The yellow has become rather uncomfortably close to the billiard spot. Should keep a little away from it. Pankaj Advani is girdling up his lions for the next visit. The break is 71 now. Again, he is also given a balk line warning. Yes. 100. Slight mistake anywhere. Still has not yet than 100 points at the top table, which shows the control that he exerts around the billiard. 11 points. If my viewers may notice it, the touch on the object yellow is becoming softer and softer. Touch control. This is the age of touch control. On the mobile we have touch control, and on tablets also we have touch control. Biometrics also touch control. So this is also a kind of touch control on the top table by Mike Russell and Pankaj Advani both. Touches of different kind. There is nothing more satisfying in a billiard player's life than to pile up a big break when he is lagging behind. And this is the joy that must be going through the heart of Mike Russell. There, that right side, check side here, for that lovely cue ball, lovely close-up shot that was, to see that cue ball spinning away into that position. The break is now 247. 3 plus 3 points, 250, and he's cutting down the lead. As I had said earlier, it's only a matter of one visit for Mike Russell to eat up that lead and even take a lead also from there. Mike Russell is capable of, in fact, not only covering up that lead, but also taking a lead of the same number of points from there. .262, another deadline approaching. Deadline for the walk line warning. 280 points. This walk line warning has to be given on every 100 points, at 180 points, 180, 280, 380, so that the player has to take the cue ball around, and this will test his skills of control even more than if this warning had not been there and he would have piling up that break just at top table only. Awesome control. What a beautiful game this is. It's a character building game, this billiards. It builds powers of concentration and patience in both the players. You see, Pankaj Advani is also having a lesson in patience building. This is just normal. You see, Mike Russell wants him to clean the billiard spot, because the chalk particles keep falling over there around the billiard spot, and they tend to affect the path of the cue ball. The effect may be very slight there. This is the shot that I have been talking about. You see the triangle across the diagonal? Lovely shot. Beautiful shot. What a shot. That's why he got the applause for it. Lovely shot that was. This is the shot I have been waiting for. to making that perfect rectangle across the diagonal. Sometimes it is very good, sometimes it is not so good, but nevertheless, he is the best in business to cross the back line. .293 is approaching the triple century mark. I feel this is champion billiards. Champion billiards, especially because Mike Russell is piling up this triple century when he is almost 400 points behind. Of course, we are still a little away from the halfway mark of this very prestigious semi-final. I would like to remind the viewers that Mike Russell has kept the yellow ball right under his thumb and under the billiard spot in such a nice way that he didn't have to go to the D after once he had reached the top table. What control. To the outsider, to the untrained eye, this may be looking very easy, but only somebody who has played the game and somebody who has played tried to play the top table will realize what awesome amount of control is required to keep all these three balls together at the top table. Of course, it is also possible to keep on going to the D and coming back, but without going to the D and keeping on piling this score is really very, very creditable indeed. Sometimes when you get these close-ups, you realize what must be the ambience around the table where the player and only the referee is observing it. This TV has made the game even more beautiful for the ordinary spectator, because these close-ups are not available to the spectator who is sitting and watching in the hall. This live telecast of this IBSF World Semi-Final in long point format of 1250 point up is being brought to you from Mohammed bin Hamad Al Hitmi Hall of Al Arabi Sports Club. This magnificent hall, which is holding 12 tables at the moment. Very soon, after 2 days, the IBSF World Snooker Championship will start here. Today the billiards is getting over, and let me remind even knowledgeable spectators that this is the first time perhaps in the history of IBSF that these both events are being held together so closely and at the same venue. This was never done before, at least not I can recall that. So that is a great credit to the organizers, and I feel a vote of thanks goes also to the Ministry of Culture and Sports of the state of Qatar, who have been promoting this game in a big way, and not only this game but promoting sports all over the country in a very big way. This is the World Cup football is also going to be held over here. The Asian Games was held over here some time back, a few years back in fact, and now the thrust that is being given to billiards and snooker in Doha is enormous and unprecedented, I feel. Mike Russell is displaying his awesome skills around the billiard spot. .363 now. Again the deadline is approaching. How fast the deadline keeps approaching. And once he passes through that deadline, again he speeds up his game. Pankaj Advani is now within striking distance, less than that in fact. 411 points and 415 Pankaj Advani. So the lead is gone. In fact, now Mike Russell is on the other side of the fence to pile up his own lead, and that will test Pankaj Advani's character to the limit. But we have to see how far this break goes. 377, 379 it will come to after this cannon, and then red pot will make it 382. There. Rather strange for a player to bang the table like that, but he is, you see, when the red is a spot there, he is going to go around the table now again. Yeah. There he is. Lovely shot. Little short of length. No, not at all short. He's kept it purposely over there. Asked referee to clean the cue ball. Referee Andrew Weatherly. Looks nice on the table. Beautiful close-up that was. Backline cross. Now it's a matter of only lovely control. Even with the rest, he's controlling the cue ball so well. 391. This is, I feel, I think this must be the highest break of the championship now. The first quadruple 100 is coming up, 400 plus. .396, 399. This red pot will make it. .401. So Mike Russell is now in the process of piling up a lead on Pankaj Advani. This is so far the highest break in this championship. Before this, I think there was only one triple century breaks and quite a few, about a dozen double centuries. There, he doesn't like to play the postman's knock, Mike Russell. He loves the floating white touch, and he keeps on doing that only. Played that cannon, made the yellow hit the top cushion and come up again to the closer to the billiard spot. Very nice. What lovely control. I think super fine cannon on the yellow. Cannot be seen from here. There he is. What a shot. What delicacies of control Mike Russell is displaying on the table. 18 times world champion. This is the touch that brought him 18 world titles in billiards. Of course, Pankaj Advani also has 17 world titles, but out of that, 4 are in snooker. 2 in 15 red, 2 in 6 red. And in billiard titles, of course, there is a team title also. Mike Russell is in full flow around the billiard spot. There he gave a lot of left side on the cue ball to bring it up after striking the side cushion, and got this easy cannon. Very nice. Look at that control. He's making the red strike the top cushion so that he doesn't have to play a cannon, a red and off and go to the tee. Very lovely control. This is the master's touch. Mike Russell has pulled out all the stops for piling up this break. As you can make out from his body language and his face, he is well cued on the billiard spot. 443. My dear viewers, we are again reaching the balk line warning. How quickly it is coming. This shows the speed and dexterity of Mike Russell around the billiard spot. How well he has mastered the billiard, the ball contact and the control. Referee Andrew must be feeling uneasy as the break piles up. Very surprising that apart from the player himself, who is perhaps feeling the least tension, everybody's tension is increasing as the break increases. Very seldom anybody except the opponent who wants the player to miss this break. Everybody is now very keenly looking forward to seeing a break of 500 plus, and Mike Russell is pretty close to it. 461 is the break now. 463 or should be 4. 3 points he scored. There, he corrected it. What awesome control. Pankaj Advani has to be ready to come to the table, and he has to play out of his skin to reply to this break. .474. Two more shots, or maybe three more shots. 477, 479. This cannon will make it, and then again the balk line crossing. 482. There should be a cannon off the top cushion on the yellow, and the red should come for a balk line crossing. There he is. Prime position this is. There he is. Lovely shot. Look at this. Look at this very nice replay of that shot. This is what I have been talking about. Is it that Mike Russell heard me? That he played this shot to my delight? Absolutely. This is truly champagne billiards. From being so far behind in this game and taking out this break from nowhere, he's piling up that break, and he's looking formidable now. Probably he might leave behind the very lead that Pankaj Advani had left him behind. And may I remind the viewers that Mike Russell has not yet gone to the D. He's piling up hundreds after hundreds right at the top table without going to the D. This itself increases the aesthetic value of the break, apart from its numerical value of 499. That is a 5. That will make it a 500. Very nice. This is IBT. Little more than what he would have wanted. Probably this will disturb the balls a little. Yeah. No, he has played it well. Probably still he may not have to go to the D. The aesthetic value of this break surpasses the numerical value of 509. In its artistry, I feel this break is much bigger than the numerical thing that it displays. There is some disturbance somewhere. Oh. Now that will disturb him. You see, once the player's eyes are set on the balls, it takes very little to disturb him, but it makes it very difficult for the player to bring back the same concentration again. I hope it may not have disturbed him much. $517. Out of this, almost 500 points he has scored on the top table itself. Awesome control. Very seldom it is seen. This has reminded me of the form Mike Russell had displayed in the World Final, in which it was my privilege to referee and do the commentary also in Pune in perhaps 2010, in which he had made a break of 1000 plus also. That is the kind of control I am seeing today also. In that break also, in that game also, he had refused to go to the top, to the D, and kept on piling hundreds after hundreds against Peter Gilchrist at the top table. There again, that cannon that I had spoken about a little earlier, making the yellow strike the top cushion and come up again close to the billiard spot. You see how close it is there, but Mike doesn't like to play the postman's knock, where the yellow is made to stick to the top cushion. He loves to keep it close to the billiard spot and keep on reaping the harvest of scoring centuries of it. No. Was it a kick or he missed it or what? Awesome applause. Applause for Mike Russell for this probably there may be a break now. He missed that. Yeah, he missed it. I cannot say from so far whether it was a kick or whether he missed it by some wrong cue action. But nevertheless, that break has come to an end. A break of almost 550, which has given him a lead of 150 points. There you can see. This is the way Pankaj Advani has also played. Lovely slow motion roundup of the game. Looks beautiful. Lovely roundup. Pankaj Advani's body language. We will see of it after this brief spell. You see that this is the reason that those red spots are there, so that the viewer can make out which way the cue ball is spinning. Looks beautiful. This is something which the spectators sitting in the hall will not be able to see. This slow motion, which brings out the beauty of the game to its limit. Advani has an uphill task now. The points are not much, but you have to respond to that break in a big way. So that this has now become a clash of their fighting spirit. How well you can take in that break of 500 plus and respond with a break of your own. There is a brief break now. The slow motion shots, they show the delicacy of control I have been talking about repeatedly. Mike Russell is 593, Pankaj Advani is 415, and there is a break now, and we will come back to the game as soon as the break is over and the match starts again. Thank you. So we are now in a very interesting stage of the match in which Pankaj Advani has to girdle up his lions to reply to that break of 500 plus from Mike Russell, which he had piled up when he was down by almost 400 points. This is the real billiards that we are watching. I feel so, because that 150 up format and that 100 up format and all that is not the real game. This is like the test match of billiards, not the T20 and all that. Pankaj Advani has broken down on that routine shot. Not fully routine, but nevertheless, that is the staple diet of a billiard player. So Mike Russell is again on the kill. The red, if it stays out, yes, it is out still. So Mike has been given the opportunity of another big break. Pankaj Advani should have hit back immediately with at least a double century to keep his. You see here again, I said Mike Russell is absolutely restless to come back to the top table. He doesn't want to waste a stroke or a minute to stay away from it. Doesn't like it at all. Lucky break. That double kiss was not intended, but in any event, if the double kiss had not taken place, he was still getting that cannon. So, but still lucky to retain the normal position without losing it. Scoreable position, shall I call it. Mike Russell is again on the job of coming from the D to the top table. There he is. Double kisses are spoiling what he is actually looking for. This is the second double kiss that took place unintentionally. Good shot. Very soft red pot. Normally billiard players avoid these kinds of red pot. They try to play a cannon or a run through. Soft gathering cannon at the top cushion. Knows the ball contact so well that he knows how to send both the ball. 3 ball control is on display here. 3 ball control, which is the maximum that you can go in billiards. That hazard play is 2 ball control and top table is 3 ball control. And even in this 3 ball control, everybody doesn't play. People generally play a red oriented game so that the score keeps moving. But here, the beauty of the game is also on display. 3 ball control. How quickly Mike Russell is on the job. He's pounced upon that opportunity of that was a very unforced error from Pankaj Advani, missing that routine hazard. We are almost halfway through of this very prestigious semi-final between 2 world champions, two players who have won the world title more than a dozen times. Very prestigious match. Always skin and hair are flying when these 2 players are playing. And they know each other's depth. Very surprisingly, this game has been of such high standard so far that we have not seen a single spell of safety play. Only 2 big breaks, one from Pankaj Advani and one from Mike Russell. Mike Russell is again on the job 47 plus 3, 50 points. But the more menacing thing is that he is on the top table with prime position under his belt. Stun follow, stun screw. These are the combinations. According to Walter Lindrum, every variety of shot that is available on the table is played at a short distance in this top table, which is he used to call a game within a game. So this top table is actually a game within the broader game of billiards of open game. Lovely control. Same thing. He has just come back to where he was. 68 points in this break, just 12 points away from that rather irritating walk line, shall I say, walk line warning. But I find it very good, especially when Mike Russell is playing. I would like to see Pankaj Advani also pile up a big break in which he has to cross the walk line repeatedly, as Mike Russell has been doing. All concentration, trying to save his concentration for the next visit. Soft control. Softest of the soft touch is required here. And that soft touch investment pays off heavily when the master is playing. Looks like he is in full flow, the way he is awkwardly queuing and is still getting away with all this. The player's body language also speaks a lot about his mental attitude. Which means apart from scoring, he is also showing what his mood is by his body language. Oh no, this was not perfect, and he's lucky also that the cue ball didn't go in. But anyway, if it had gone in, he would have got it from the D. But the fact is that he did not go to the D. Again, good control. This is good control. This was an awkward situation in which he played the ball so well that he has retained the prime top table position, floating white position in fact. Referee Andrew Weatherly must be getting tired keeping the red ball on the spot again and again. There are many matches in which even the red is not placed even a quarter of a time as he has already done. The referee's job is a thankless job. Nobody admires him when the match is conducted spotlessly, but even his slightest mistake is taken to task. So, as a colleague of Mr. Andrew Weatherly, I can feel his tension and the admirable job that he's doing on the table. 68 years of age from New Zealand and is still going strong on the table. One of the best referees in business and one of the best players in business as well. Wiping the cue ball is something that the referee has to do. There, the close-up of wiping the cue ball. So nicely being placed. Lovely close-up. Mike Russell is back to his groove. Same rhythm, same flow, same going around, not around the table, around the top quarter of the table. This is a very good shot. From here you can make out how the player takes that top table cannon. Very good view from here. This is, I suppose, that was the crane camera that was giving us that view. Very nice arrangement has been made for this telecast, I must say. It is not normally done in most of the billiard matches. Of course, it is done for cricket and football and other games. But when I see such arrangement being made by the Qatar Billiards and Snooker Association, I feel very good that this is the game that is being promoted by this country and by this association. This is almost, I must say, this is almost 3 weeks of billiards and snooker extravaganza that is being staged at this magnificent Mohammed bin Hamad Al Hitmi Hall of Al Arabi Sports Club in Doha, Qatar. It's an unforgettable fortnight, more than that, in fact 3 weeks of a snooker festival that is going on. The hospitality is excellent, the playing conditions are excellent, and also the weather is pretty good considering the heat that we normally face in these Gulf countries. So everything is ideal, and I'm not surprised that these two players are dishing out the best billiards at the moment. Fine control on the yellow and thick contact on the red. This is a good shot. You see, just look at this camera angle. How the cue ball is being brought for another cannon or a pot. If the cannon is not there, Mike Russell just refuses to go to the D. He is controlling the cue ball on a sixpence, as they say it in English. I feel that the game looks much more beautiful on the TV than it otherwise looks on the table because of the close-ups that the viewers can see, and also the replays which are not available for anybody who's watching it in the hall. Full backswing and then stun shot. That is the grace of this cueman, this distinguished cueman from England. Anybody who's watching the game and he sees that this is so easy, I must tell you, this is the beauty of billiards. The greater the player, the easier the game looks when he is in full flow. This is not the case with tennis or with cricket. When Roger Federer is playing cricket or when Sachin Tendulkar is playing cricket, anybody who's watching them play will always think that, no, I cannot play like this. But when a great billiard player is playing the game, like Mike Russell is now, people tend to get deceived that they can also play because it looks so easy. This is the art of break building. There he is. He has crossed the back line, making that rectangle on the table across its diagonal. Look at this. Look at this beautiful replay. There. This is what I have been telling you. So as I was telling you, the beauty of billiards is that the greater the player, the easier the game looks, which is not the case with cricket or tennis. And that is the beauty of that deception. Sometimes it takes somebody a lifetime to realize that this is a bad shot now. This is a bad shot. So I don't know what he's going to do from here because of the jaw of the pocket. There he missed it. As I said, it was a bad shot. But break of 169. 191, I think. Yes, after crossing the back line, he messed it up. See, without giving a second thought, he just went for the red pot. I don't know whether anything else was on or not, but the replay shows you that he overcut the red and it hit the top cushion first. So it's got some life. Pankaj Advani, after being made to sit out for almost an hour, he is on the table again. He came for a visit or so, but he messed it up. Now this is a prime position for him. From here, he has to take out a big break. At least a 200-300 minimum, that is. It takes a lot of character for a player to sit out a big break and then come back to make a big break of his own, as Mike Russell showed in the previous visit when Pankaj Advani piled up a huge break of close to 400 and he had to sit out. And when he came to the table, it was a lead of almost 400 points. But then he took out that break of almost 540 from his hat, shall I say, and then took the lead. So he's leading by almost 300 points, Mike Russell. More than 300 points, in fact. So even if Pankaj Advani makes a break of 300, he will only be on par with Mike Russell. It's a very interesting stage of the match. We are past the halfway mark, at least for Mike Russell. It's a break of, it's a game of 1250 up points. So in this format, it has its own intricacies. It has its own deception in the sense that Mike Russell can get stuck at 1199 points, and even from 500, 600 points behind, Pankaj Advani can still make a huge break and come back. This is not like the 150 up format or like the time format in which just 10 minutes are left and no chance of doing anything. Even 1 point can cost too heavily for a player. That is the deception and the beauty of this format. This is the oldest format of billiards, for the knowledge of those who do not know it and who may be under the misconception that point format is something new that has been introduced to this game. I mean this long point format. This is not the case. Walter Lindum made most of his records in this format. But that was, of course, not 1250 points or 1000 points up. That used to be 15,000 points up and 20,000 points up. In fact, Walter Lindum had made that break of, that his record break of 4,137 in a 20,000 up match against Joe Davis. In fact, in which he had given some handicap of also a few thousand points to Joe Davis. So that's a very interesting episode or anecdote in which Joe Davis had immediately replied with a break of 2,000 points against Walter Lindum's 4,000 points. And for that break, he had been gifted a pair of gold cufflinks by his father-in-law. This is one of the very endearing anecdotes of billiards history. At the moment, Pankaj Advani is struggling to control the cue balls and bring them to the top table, because without bringing them to the top table, it is not possible to make a break of 200, 300 or anything like it. At the moment, the break is only 43 points, but the numerical value of a break doesn't matter much here at the moment, as how much control you are succeeding in exerting on the three balls. there, the drop cannon is there, the most deceptive shot on the table according to Walter Lindrum, because nobody can say that whether the ball will land up perfectly after the cannon or it can be even, look, as I said, this is not the ideal drop cannon. This is a difficult shot to control, easy to score but difficult to control. Good contact should be there on both the object balls. Very good shot. Very good touch on the second ball, which is the most difficult thing to do on the table. Second ball control is also marginally easier, but third ball control is very difficult. And Pankaj Advani, being exponent of snooker also, finds it easier to play these shots. So it is a turn for Mike Russell to sit out a break from Pankaj Advani. 55 only yet. Pankaj is lagging behind for almost 300 points. Pankaj is also desperate to get to the top table. But there is no time bar now. He can take his time to go there and score. But the more a player is running around the table for making a break, the more energy he wastes. So it is much better to get to the top table and conserve your energy and make a bigger break. Nice dainty touch. Very nice touch. There, Pankaj Advani is on the job again. Speeding up a little as the balls come more and more under his control or any player's control, the speed increases because the player's eyes become wide open and the field of operation is narrowed down to a very small area on the top table. This is the reason that the decision making is just normal over there. It's a game of sequence. Two pots from the red spot means the red will, one pot is already made, so after another pot the red will go to the center spot, which is between the two center pockets. So this is the way Pankaj Advani wants to cross the balk line. He has to cut the red in to cross the balk line, because that is the only way. Because if red goes inside the balk, then that is not treated as crossing the balk line. There it is. So this is the contrast between Pankaj Advani and Mike Russell. He has crossed the balk line, but after potting the red from the center spot. People have their own taste. Every individual has his own way of doing things. So that is another way of doing it. There are many players who pot the red from the spot and go around the table to cross the balk line. That is also there. Walter Lindrum used to say that every player should have the display of his own personality in the break that he makes. And this is what is on display over here, as it is in every other break building game. Some heavy break building has been going on in this match, and the spectators have been treated to some really beautiful game. This kind of break building is not normally seen in matches because the billiards has been reduced to time format of 150 up, even in the Indian National Championship. That cannot be held because this is the way of the game. This is the way everything is moving in the world these days. Everything is going the cricket way, in which from the 5-day test match it was reduced to 1-day international, and now that T20 has come about. So the pace of modern life has forced its way into everything that we do, and this has shows itself in billiards also. Very good control this is. Don't be mistaken. This is very good control. Not letting the red potted get potted even accidentally in the top pocket. That would have been a disaster. Pankaj Advani is on the groove now. In his groove now. And I hope he piles up at least a triple century over here to come on par with Mike Russell. I think he hit it a little harder than what he would have normally liked. He's stuck. Probably he will go for a red and off, at least to stay on the table. Otherwise the balls will get even more disturbed than he would like them to. He's in a dilemma now. To be or not to be. It seizes the player every now and then. There, not a good shot. The only good shot, the only shot that is on is red in the center pocket, and Pankaj Advani is one of the most powerful potters in the center pocket I have seen, at least in snooker. But in billiards, it becomes a different game. As I said this, I have hardly seen Pankaj Advani missing the pink in the center pocket in snooker. But here in billiards, even though the red is not on the pink spot, but it is not an easy shot. It's quite missable. Even more than that, more than 200 points, Mike Russell has a lead. And yes, missed it. As he was aiming, I was apprehensive that he might miss it. The angle was much more narrow than what would have been to his comfort. Yeah, he missed it. Gully se nikal gaya, as they say in my native India. So that's double kiss spoilt it, but not entirely. He has a enough there. Pankaj Advani looks so suave and debonair on the table, but from inside he's a killer. Killer means killer on the table in the game, but otherwise he's a very soft-spoken and very civilized person. One of the favorites on the circuit. Everybody likes him. Just about rammed it in, just by the pace of its by the force of its pace it went in. I feel. Look, it wobbled into the pocket. There. Just dropped in. Much to the delight of Indian supporters. At the moment I am not anybody's supporter. I am just commentating impartially on what is happening on the screen in front of me. Difficult shot. Sometimes I wonder that this short Jenny, as it is called, it has to be played mostly under extreme pressure, as Pankaj Advani is under now at the moment. Now a sequence of red pots or cannons in-offs will go on, called the hazards. Winning hazard is the red pot and losing hazard is the red in-off. Losing it is called because it loses time. Only 15 times a player can play alone with the red or the white for that matter. After that, he has to play a cannon. At the end of the 10th hazard, the referee will give a warning to the player that 10 hazards have been played. So he has only 5 hazards more to make position for a cannon. So Pankaj Advani is under that limitation now. He has to still the hazard limit is a long way off. So he's quite comfortable at the moment, but he has to take out the white from the baulk and bring it to the top cushion so that a sequence of red pot, cannon can start again for a top table break. Very good shot. Outstanding shot this is, I must say. This is the snooker player Pankaj Advani that is playing. Potting the red full-blooded in the center pocket with the screw to come off the side cushion for this white and off. Very good shot. Just about saved the white and saved himself. Now this is a difficult shot. White is closer to the cushion than it should normally be. That is a one cushion cannon in which the cue ball has to strike the pink, the red from behind. There it is. Very good view. The crane camera view, as they say. First time I am seeing this crane camera in operation in a billiard match. Very good arrangement, I must say that. Never saw this this thing in operation in a billiard match. It has been there in cricket and other games also. In fact, in 2015 when I had come here, it was in operation in the pool match also. So I am delighted that such fine arrangement has been made by this association or federation for the live telecast of this prestigious semi-final. Break has reached 30 after so much trouble and control. Bad shot. He's covered it. He's unable to control the cue ball. He's stuck now. He's wondering what to do. There, look at this. There should have been more side on the cue ball to keep the white away. Now all the three balls are lined up. There he has to pot the white to keep control over the table. So that, which means that one hazard, second hazard. Now he has to play a red and off, and after a couple of shots probably he will leave both the his yellow ball and the red in the there. He has already done that without waiting for playing another hazard or so. He has left the red in the baulk, and Pankaj Advani will now give a miss, take his yellow ball into the baulk. Very good shot. 2 points Mike Russell gets by default. This is called a miss. This is not a foul shot. Newcomers to this game must realize that this is not a foul shot. It is called a miss, and it's a defensive shot. Mike Russell had no option but to disturb the setup, the trap that was laid by Pankaj Advani. The red is still in the baulk, which means Pankaj Advani will have to play a sequence of white and offs, or no, he has refused that. He has spotted the white and leave another double baulk for Mike Russell. Right thing he did, otherwise it would have been even more difficult to take out the red from the baulk. Mike Russell is now sitting pretty with his lead of almost 200 points. Now that is a lucky shot. He played to disturb the balls, but with a double kiss and some collisions and unintended angles, he's got it. Scored 2 points, but not a good position from there. Probably he'll pot the yellow again and leave a double baulk for left it. So Pankaj Advani, this is a spell of safety game that is on display now. Both players are trying to contain each other, but Mike Russell has the comfort of having a rather considerable lead of 200 plus. Not 200 plus, a little less than that in fact. Anybody who thinks that this is very easy must realize that both the players are trying to deprive each other of any opening. So there is this is an art that conceals art. You see, as a result of these shots, the other player is not being left with an easy cannon or pot or enough. I think he'll go for a forcing in off of the white. There he is. He couldn't get it. There was not enough spin on the ball. Couldn't generate the forward spin, the follower spin. So he missed it. Missed it quite by quite a margin. He missed it. Now Pankaj will perhaps take a white and off. Played with a drag shot. Seldom seen these days. But the drag shot is used to control the object ball and to keep the cue ball on the path as it meets the object ball. This drag shot used to be quite often in olden times when crystalline balls, and even before that the ivory balls used to be the norm of the day, and the balls used to run off the course in which they were set. So the drag was used, but it has survived those times and it is being used. But mostly it is used now to control the pace of the cue ball and the object ball. That's a good shot, but not well played, shall I say. It should have had a more thick contact on the red to collect it in the bottom pocket. So another difficult shot awaits Pankaj Advani. Not easy. Pankaj Advani is wondering what to do, because another safety shot is also not easy over here, and no scoring shot is on. Played it right, but I am afraid that white and off is on from there. It's maybe slightly difficult, but it is on. Maybe you cannot say Mike Russell go for a deep kiss cannon off the red also. He can. No, he tried pot cum cannon. Very good shot. Double barrel shots as they are called. He tried a red pot with left side so that as the cue ball crisscrosses the table, it might meet the yellow also, and it did. So he got 2 points, and more than that, he got the right to stay on the table. Now another short Jenny, maybe a long Jenny in the top pocket if the shot is not on. Short Jenny and long Jenny. I like the names. Nevertheless, English billiards, English names, good shot. The secret of playing these Jennies, especially the short Jenny, is to play it with pocket strength so that the cue ball is reaching the center pocket and also has some pocket side on it, which means that it helps the cue ball to drop into the pocket. There he is again. You know, he's always in a hurry to get to the top table. With the minimum of shots he gets there. And if I am afraid, if Mike Russell reaches there and piles up a double century or so, it will become an uphill task for Pankaj Advani to come back into this game. This is a red pot. I don't know how he played this. This is, I'm surprised. I feel the cue ball didn't come back as much as he would have wanted to. So follow cannon, but if the red enough is on, then it is good enough. Missed it. This is the chance for Pankaj. Easy white enough. Missed it. There. This is missed it. Should have played it a little harder. This is what happens. So Pankaj has to control the white from this enough. Couldn't control it well enough. But nevertheless, red enough is on in the center pocket. Perhaps he will set the red for another drop cannon. No. He's trying to control the white for a white enough or maybe another drop cannon. Yeah. This is, yeah, he will play a drop enough, as they say, probably. He will drop the white below the billiard spot on the top cushion. This is the direct route. No. He's not going for that. Walter Lindrum preferred the direct route to the tap table. He used to say that the drop cannon is too treacherous to be relied upon for a top table position. More often than not, it used to result in a cover-up, and mind it, when Walter Lindrum is saying that, who was a master of massy shots, then it means something. Whenever there was a chance, he used to go for whenever there was a chance, he used to take the direct route. Direct route means playing the white enough and then taking the red pot and going to the top table, instead of playing the treacherous drop cannon. So Pankaj Advani is stretching to the limit, literally as well as figuratively, to save this match. Yes. It's always very chancy, in spite of all the calculations that a player does, where the three balls will land up when you play a raking cannon like this. So the position may be easy enough to score, but it may not be easy to control, as it is here, because this cannon cannot be played with normal strength, as I can see it from here on the screen. And if that is the case, then it will be more difficult to control. Yes, it is not normal strength. He has to stun it. There he is. Another gathering cannon, trying to bring the white close to the red. There he is. I think normal strength cannon is on. If that is so, then he can control it. No, he had to stun it. So the red is drifting away. You see how the balls have to have a tendency to drift apart, and you have to bring them together under control. This is the name of the game. This is the game that has to be played. You have to control the balls to keep them together, and the genius mesmerizes them to keep them together. Look at this shot. See, they keep on drifting away and away. There. Two close-ups, lovely close-ups and replays we have seen. Now, let us see how many strokes he takes to get to the top table. Pankaj Advani has had a string of chances, but he was unable to capitalize on them. There he is. Look. Second shot. Doesn't want to go to the D. He will play as a last resort. He goes to the D. There he is. There. The drop cannon is set up. And now he will go to the top table. 3 shots. if Mike Russell piles up a break over here, even a break of 100 or double a century, it will be difficult for Pankaj to come back in this match. Now this is a peculiar situation. I don't know whether Mike Russell will go for the center pocket red from here. Oh, Massey from the master. Is it touching?
No, it's touching ball.
He's saying the ball is touching. Touching ball means, yeah, this is the Massey shot. There it is. Now it has been played with such perfect strength that the cue ball landed up just nestling on the red, which means the rule of the game says that when the cue ball is touching any ball, it will be null and void, and the game will revert to a position from where the object ball of the opponent is played on the center spot and the red on the billiard spot and the cue ball in hand. So this happens sometimes.
Okay.
So tension of both the players is showing on the table. They are unable to control the balls, or finding it very difficult to control them, scoring apart. Mike Russell is already 820 points, which means that he needs about 400 points for a ticket to the final. This is the chance for Mike Russell to deliver a killing blow. A killing blow means he can decide the match. Not necessarily. Pankaj still has a chance even if Mike Russell reaches 1249 points. But it becomes more and more difficult the more the opponent reaches the finishing mark. So, and let me tell you one thing more. Pankaj Advani is very much capable of nailing Mike Russell even when Mike is on 1149. And most often than not, as I have been watching him for years, these are the situations which bring out the best in Pankaj Advani, in snooker as well as in billiards. But it doesn't always happen. So whether it will be his day or not, we have to see that. A double kiss. That's called a double kiss on the red to make that cannon. There he is. Now he'll pot the red and take the cue ball a little down the table to play the cannon and bring the yellow under the red spot. All concentration, saving his reserves of patience and concentration for the chance he is, I believe, likely to get unless Mike Russell is in the mood of finishing off this match. That is also possible, but less likely in the end stages. The balk line warning is there, my friend. Please remember that. That has been the stumbling block of many breaks and many matches. Very controlled side on the ball. Look, he doesn't want to play the in-off. Just wants to stay at the top table. He hates to go to the D. The in-off would have been an easier option, I feel. Double touch on the yellow. He knows his range of control at the top table. That is why He didn't play that enough and instead opted for that narrow cannon. Got it luckily nicely, because there was an unintended kiss on the yellow when the cue ball was going down the table. This was the kind of situation that he faced 2 shots earlier. This is the one. Yeah. But I'm afraid yellow might have blocked the billiard spot. Looks too close to it. Oh, this is some display of cue power that Mike Russell has shown. Lovely shot, very good shot. They can be covered by one hanky. This is the situation. That is the ideal drop cannon also, as Walter Lindholm used to call it. Almost missed it. Good view. This is the good view of that cannon of the cradling the yellow between the billiard spot and the top cushion. That is the floating white. $79. This red pot will make it 82. Balkline warning. There you are. The Balkline shot. No, not to my liking. Crossed, but not to my liking. Should have been more beautiful making that rectangle. By any other standard, for any other player, except of the class of Pankaj Advani, it would have been fair enough. But when these two masters of the game are pitted against each other, I expect more than just crossing the back line when that rule has to be obeyed. Just about got it. A gathering cannon at the top table on the top cushion. Playing with the left hand also. The ways of the genius. Didn't play it with the correct stand. Probably he may have to go to the D now. He doesn't want to go to the D or what? There you are, you see? Wants the referee to clean the cue ball. And the red also. Cross the balk line. One hurdle has been crossed. So Mike Russell has taken a breather. Having a few sips of water to moisten his throat. In the meantime, referee Andrew Weatherly has cleaned the cue ball. You see, the red is striking the two jaws and to stay there. This is not unintentional. This is the craft of the game. This is the master showing his touch. Any outsider can feel that it has just happened. It has not happened. The red is made to strike the two jaws to stay there. To kill the pace of the ball also, and also to control its angle so that it may not be able to drift away far from the pocket. This is the clash of the titans. The lead is again 300 points. And about the same to go for the winning post for Mike Russell. We are running close to 3 hours, almost 2.5 hours for this match. So they have been scoring, at least Russell has been scoring above 300, above 350 around per hour, which is okay for this contesting semi-final, close semi-final. Can be close, but Pankaj Advani has to play out of his skin now to make a match of it. That is if Mike Russell misses or messes. Missing or messing is not much different in billiards. Sometimes messing up is more likely to lead you to missing. Hard stun on the red to divert the angle in which the cue ball comes back. There it is. Off the top cushion, from the hitting the yellow from behind, and then from the red on the face of the yellow in the next cannon. As in this one. This is the reason that Mike Russell doesn't want to stay anywhere else but the top table. He has made it his home. He loves to stay there. Doesn't want to spend any time outdoors. One of the acknowledged masters of floating white. One other player who is not on the scene anymore, unfortunately, that is Roxton Chapman. He used to have a very, very soft touch on the top table. Floating white. The referee had to be on his toes to see whether the cannon is done or not. And when the cannon is done, the opponent is also done. And that's what normally happens. Mike Russell looks like like he's in a very menacing mood. Looks like he's going to pile up a big break again. .167. Balkline warning approaching. The player has to plan at least 3-4 shots ahead, where he'll be once the balkline warning comes into operation. Because he has a space of almost only 19 points in which he has to negotiate that balkline warning. I'm afraid Pankaj Advani has missed quite a few chances which I don't think anybody expected him to get from Mike Russell when he's in such a ferocious form. He missed those chances, and Russell is back on the kill. Mike Russell has 18 world titles to his credit, 6 in IBSF billiards and 12 in professional billiards. And Pankaj Advani has almost 13 world titles in billiards in different formats, IBSF and a team championship also. So, very well matched semi-final this is. Means these two brilliant players are sharing 25 world titles between them. And this is like almost like Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer playing in tennis. The rivalry of these two players has benefited the game so much. But Mike Russell is carrying on from a different era, I must say that. He was on the top of his form even against Gate City when Pankaj Advani was not on the scene, sorry. And he is still carrying on. Mike Russell has uncorked another champagne break, I am afraid. 213 and still going strong. Taking some water to deliver the killing blow, I feel. Moistening his throat. All these primitive instincts are activated in a civilized game like billiards. It reminded me of Walter Lindrum, what he had said, that great genius, that billiards is a game for the civilized man. You have to tame the savage in you, which means that the caveman that is in you, it has to be tamed, it has to be made civilized. It's a very different game when two players are playing with waistcoat, bow tie and all that, under such refined audience and ambience as well. And not only that, I find this game to be very different from other games, very different. This is not to demean any game, but I just say that the refinement of this game in fact goes against it, because people are not in the habit of appreciating this kind of ultra refinement which is visible only to the trained eye. Now what is going on the top table, only the player who has played the top table can realize that the turn of a ball can make so much difference between one shot and the other. It's like the symphonies in an orchestra which all look the same but which are so different. Or like the rags of a sitar. But this game is, this is the reason that this game has lost its audience, because it is so refined that the untrained eye cannot see the grace and dignity that lies in break building. Such nicety of control over here that is on display by Mike Russell is not easy to cultivate. It requires, apart from a lifetime of hard work and sacrifice, it requires enormous talent. .249 the break is. Now Mike Russell is just about less than 200 points away from the winning post. 1250 up. 1250 is the winning line, and he's getting closer and closer. The lead of Mike Russell is now more than 400 points. But I said that Pankaj Advani is any moment capable of coming up with a big break, as long as Mike Russell's score remains within 1250. It all looks very routine work from outside, but each shot is different from the other. According to Walter Lindrum, there is no shot on the table which is not utilized in such a closed field of operation in top table. Drag, check side, running side, top ball, bottom ball, screw, deep screw, everything is required over here. And he has said that, very strange, now when a genius is saying that you have to accept it, he has said that you can keep on playing top table all your life and with complete confidence that you will never be able to master all the shots that are required to play this game. What a statement that is, really. Only somebody who has played this game can realize this. Or somebody who is watching Mike Russell at full flow over here. He seems to be in no mood to spare anything that is under his command. Looks unstoppable. quite capable of finishing this match with this break. That's what he seems to be in the mood for. But it's a strange game, I must say that. Any time the balls may start defying you, and then you had it. 287, the back line. Yeah, there it is. That beautiful, beautiful shot. The trick here is to avoid hitting the bottom pocket. Lovely shot. Clean the red and the white. Probably it had a kick. So without waiting to get the red potted, Mike Russell has asked the referee to clean the red also. Probably a kick could have spoiled the control. May not have missed the pot, but could have spoiled the control. So he has asked the referee to clean both the balls. His cue ball and the red also. Moistening his throat again. Looks like in an unsparing mood. Leaving nothing to chance. Looks like he's taking it out in this break. He wants to just show that he is the king of top table. Doesn't look like believing in small breaks, only in big breaks. Big players believe in big things. But the big player is sitting there also. He can also come up with a 500-600 break if he gets the chance. I'm afraid this is the beauty of this long point format, that no match is over till the last point is scored. This is not the case in time format, and this is also not the case in 150th format. Every format has its own intricacies and its own dilemmas. Soft touch on the yellow and stun pots on the red. These are the two commonest shots that are played on top table in floating white. I think the yellow has come very close to the brilliant spot, maybe covering it also. Yeah. The red has to go to the pink spot because the spot has been covered. Yes, first time it has happened in this match. It happens. Not very often, but it does. Yeah, he'll play a cannon from there. What a touch on the yellow. Don't miss the touch on the yellow. That Mike is capable of delivering again and again and again and yet again. That is what distinguishes him from other players. Doesn't let the yellow drift away, far away from the billiard spot. He's in awesome form. 337. Wants to finish off this match with this break itself. I'm sure all the billiard players, even the supporters of Pankaj Advani, must be watching this class player in action in full flow. It is not very often that you see this kind of billiards on display, especially since the time the point format has come. Big breaks are few and far between. And especially in a tense match like this, in a clash of titans. I'm afraid the first blow was delivered by Pankaj Advani, and that is what provoked Mike Russell to take out all his guns. .357. Now less than 100 points left for Mike Russell to reach the winning post. In modern terms, we should call it the top table application. Once you switch it on, it keeps on repeating itself. And the screen in this kind of application is the billiard table. It is repeating itself again and again. The pot cannon sequence. $11.80, 70 points more for Mike Russell for a ticket to the final, world final. He's used to playing that. He's used to that ticket. In fact, he has a pass now. Again, the balk line warning. Oh, he is asking how much, what is the winning line? Maybe it is 1500 or 1250 or 1000. So it has to be more than 1000 because he has already crossed 1000. So he was asking the referee, what is the winning line? It is 1250 or what? So it is 1250. Mike Russell. Even at the expense of disturbing his concentration, he did that. Mind it. What are his intentions? To cross the balk line again. There it is. On display. There it is. Very good. Very good. Beautiful shot. I have been, maybe some viewers may not like it, but I have been saying this repeatedly. It is not, you see, only when you see a player like Mike Russell in action that you can see this. Otherwise, it is not to be seen repeatedly anywhere. He keeps on making that rectangle on the table very gracefully in crossing the balk line. Anybody can cross the balk line, but only Mike Russell can cross it the way he does. Look at his flow. Look at his awesome form. Incredible form. 405. He cannot make it 500 because he can only score about 39 points now. But he can have the satisfaction of finishing this match with a flourish and a break of around 450. Not a nice shot. Unintended cannon that was. He wanted to make a cannon off the top cushion. So now he has oh dear. Was that double kiss intended or unintended? I cannot say. Of course, the cannon was neat and it did not depend upon that double kiss. And that cannon was made even before that double kiss into effect. Now he has to go to the tee. Only once. Again the drop cannon and back to where he is. What a master of top table control he is. Unbelievable control, really. Not to be seen these days of 150th format. Not well controlled drop cannon. He may again have to go to the tee. Only 25 points he needs for a berth in the final, in which the winner of the other semi-final between Robert Hall and Nate Tway Wu will have to qualify. Now somebody has to qualify from the other semi-final to meet this player. This is one of the greatest players of modern era, there's no doubt about it. Break building is one thing, and the grace of making those big breaks is another. Awesome display of floating white, no doubt about it. What control? Glancing of the white, thick contact on the red, and make it bounce it off the top cushion to get a red pot. Only 11 points now. A little harder than what he would have liked, but cannon is on, red pot is on. Only 9 points he needs. 440. .446, 4 points now. Incredible display by Mike Russell. After a long time I have seen him in such form. 12:49. What a shot, what a display. Beautiful. Awesome. Mike Russell is very deservingly in the final of this very prestigious IBSF World Billiards Championship in the long format, and he'll be meeting the final, the winner of the other semi-final between Robert Hall and Nate Tway Wu, which is still in progress. So we have seen the game at its best. The better players at their best. Both the players. This is Mike Russell, Ace 48, as you can see on the screen. Awesome display of top table by both the players. Of course, Pankaj Advani remained a little subdued. He started very well, but he couldn't do it. This is the winning shot. Which decided the match. In slow motion, as you see them, the other shots in slow motion. I find this game to be more enjoyable when it is shown in slow motion on the TV, in fact. Because there are many things, the movement of the spots on the table you cannot find when the player when the shots are being played, which you can only notice when the balls are moving in slow motion on the table. Look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. Referee Andrew Weatherly will be very happy to see this replay. So we will now be meeting again for the finals of this championship. This is the other semi-final in progress. This is Ne Thue U of Myanmar. He's playing against Robert Hall of England. This is the first time Ne Thue U, or for that matter anybody from Myanmar, has reached the semi-final, a world semi-final I mean. This, I cannot see the score from here, but it looks like yeah. 489 and 802 Robert Hall, which means he's leading by almost 400 points. So referee RB Ganesh from India, Chennai, a veteran of so many semi-finals and finals, is having the distinction of refereeing this other semi-final. Robert Hall, Mike Russell's colleague. From the same country, Ne Thue U is pitted against Robert Hall. Break is 3 now. just got the visit. 800 break is 11 now, in fact. So 802, 808 means he still has 200 about 400 plus points to score Robert Hall for the winning post. And minded Nethwe, who is quite far behind. He has to play out of his skin to make a match of it. Winning and losing apart. First you have to make a match of it. And this cannot be done by small breaks. You have to deliver a double century, or if possibly a triple century, to give some jitters to your opponent. Mr. Barry of IBSF is perhaps, I don't know, they want to shift the match to the other table, or what they want to do. Looks like they want to shift the match to the other table. That will be a good thing. The red is on the spot. I don't know what is going on from here. Or maybe there is a break for something. Okay, thanks a lot for watching, and it has been my privilege to give commentary in this semi-final. The best, which as I have said, it amounted to a final without meaning to hurt anybody's feelings. And this magnificent hall of Mohammed bin Hamad Al Hitmi Hall of Al Arabi Sports Club, with the courtesy of Qatar Billiards and Snooker Association, and also the Ministry of Culture and Sports, State of Qatar. Thank you, everybody. I take you back to the studio. Thanks a lot.
إذا نتواصل والمتابعة لهذه البطولة. كما ذكرنا بطولة العالم للبليارد الإنجليزي اللونجاب، كنا في متابعة للقاء الذي جمع لحساب الدور نصف النهائي مايك راسل الإنجليزي، وهو بطل العالم في 17 مناسبة، والمنافس كان بطل العالم الحالي 7 مرات أيضا في رصيد الألقاب الهندي بانكاج أدفاني. ربما كنا نتابع أو كنا نتوقع أن هذه المباراة أو هذا النزال بين هذا الثنائي سيكون كلوز، لكن فاجأنا مايك راسل، حقق 1250 نقطة، لقاء 620 فقط. كابتن، في الكواليس قلنا ربما هذا اللقاء سيكون كلوز، نقول كلوز جيم إن صح التعبير.
والله شوف، انا يمكن انا تكهنت في قبل المباراه يمكن شويه ان مايك راسل جاي اليوم لياخذ حقه من الثأر من الهزيمه السابقه. ومايك راسل يمكن من الشخصيات اللي انا عاشرته، انه شخصيه ما تنسى الحق اللي لها، فرجع اليوم بقوه صراحه، ويعني وعمل الهايست بريك اليوم 561 وعمل بريك ثاني 414 نقطه انهى فيها المباراه. يعني مباراه صراحه اليوم انا للامانه اقول لك هي صارت من طرف واحد. مايك راسل يعني مع ان البدايه كانت لبانكاج، تقدم عن اللاعب وكان الفارق 300 وشويه، ورجع اللي هو مايك راسل عدى الرقم وعمل بريك هايست بريك ورجع.
ما الذي ميزه كابتن ربما اكثر في هذا السنة؟
للامانه الخبره اليوم خرجت في المباراه اليوم. يعني مايك راسل اليوم انت لو شفته على الطاوله قاعد يلعب براحه جدا، مرتاح، تمكن من الطاوله، تمكن من الخصم تبعه، خلى الخصم انه ما يعني ما عطى الخصم مجال انه يتحرك.
نعم واضح. اللقاء الثاني هذه بعض المشاهد إذا من الحوار الهندي الإنجليزي كما ذكرت. هذا اللاعب الصاعد الواعد أعتقد أنه في الهند له اهتمام أو لهم اهتمام كبير كابتن ببانكاج أدفاني.
والله شوف اللاعب بنكات الثاني يمكن شخصيه معروفه لدى الرئيس الهندي. يعني لاعب مش لاعب من الطراز العادي، لاعب قوي جدا، لاعب له اسمه، لاعب له اسمه كذلك في السنوكر. انت يمكن ممكن تشوف هاللاعب هذا يعمل حاجه في بطوله السنوكر الثانيه. لاعب مميز، لاعب لديه المهارات انه يفوز باي بطوله للامانه.
نعم واضح. على كل في المقابل اذا النصف النهائي الثاني سيتواصل لساعات، اعتقد ساعتين كابتن تتوقع؟
والله شوف انا اتوقع يعني يمكن احنا حاليا الجماعه 800 وشويه و600 وشويه، يعني 500 نقطه اقل حاجه بالساعه ونص وساعتين.
نعم واضح. على كل النصف النهائي الثاني متواصل اذا وعبر قنوات الكاس الرياضيه بين الثنائي روبرت هول الانجليزي وناي هاواي من ميانمار. أسبقية لروبرت هول كما ذكر الكابتن ما يفوق 800 نقطة مقابل 600 نقطة، لكن الأمور لم تتضح إلى حدود هذا التوقيت.
والله إلى الآن لم تتضح، لكن هي شوف أنا اللي أشوفه اليوم قدرة روبرت هول أقوى في الطاولة.
نعم على كل سنواصل متابعة هذا الحوار كما ذكرت بين الثنائي روبرت هول الإنجليزي وناي هاواي من ميانمار. نقطة هامة، سيمي فاينل وثم فاينل. أعتقد أنه التركيز هو المفتاح عندما يتعاطى اللاعب لمدة ما يفوق 6 ساعات كابتن في يوم واحد.
والله شوف استاذ العزيز، انا اتوقع انا قلت لك اياها اليوم، الفايز من طاوله بنكاج أدفاني مايك راسل راح يكون بطل البطوله بدون منازع.
يعني تعتقد انه المجال
والله
مفتوح
الا اذا يحدث امر،
راسل.
لكن ال 1500 نقطه هي قدره اللاعب مايك راسل،
وهي ربما نقطة للإفادة. يعني الدور ربع نهائي 1000 نقطة، 1250 نقطة في الدور و1500 نقطة. ربما هذه بعض الإيضاحات التي يمدنا بها الكابتن مبارك الخيارين. شكرا جزيلا رئيس الاتحاد الدولي للبليارد والسنوكر. سنتواصل بالتأكيد في حدود 4:45 بتوقيت مكة المكرمة، ومن ثم المشهد الختامي لهذا الحدث هنا في دولة قطر، بطولة العالم للبليارد الإنجليزي اللونجا. إلى هناك هذه تحياتي، دمتم في رعاية الله وحفظه، إلى اللقاء.